So it started now. You see it? What is that? Hello, everybody. Nice to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. And to all of you who've watched this show before, thanks for coming back. And welcome to anyone who hasn't seen it before. I'm Chris. This is the Chris Willow Show. And I'm a singer-songwriter and musician based in London. And I started the show to chat to some of my friends and talk about music and things like that. And if you like the show, you can support it by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Chris Willow. So I have a really cool guest on tonight. He's played bass for me many times in the past, and that's become the distant past since we have not gigged for so long. But yeah, he's going to show us some things low and bassy today. So without further ado, it's Huw.
Hey Chris, how you doing?
Good. Sorry about that rhyme.
It's all right. It's a pretty easy one. I'll yeah.
I'll get a pass for that.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yes, so I've been trying not to. It's weird when we have sound check before these things. Like I try not to find out how you're doing, so I can do that now. So,
yeah.
So what's happening?
Well, obviously, as it has been years since basically normal life happened. I've been doing a lot of home studio-based sort of things in lots of ways. As you can see, yeah, it's kind of all a bit sort of over the top behind me, but yeah. What have I been doing? I've been writing library music, also known as production music, and that's been really fruitful. In fact, a mutual friend, Elliot, we've been working together.
Cool, Elliot Coombs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Elliot Coombs, and that's been really, really fun, and just like a nice way to remind me that music is my job. And other than that, yeah, I've been kind of just really focusing on the bass, so I set up a Patreon recently, and that's a way in which I can kind of, without meaning to sound like a bit too much of a sort of like marketing person, monetize, I've got a fairly healthy sort of like online following on YouTube and Instagram, and people who want to learn, about bass. So I've been making sort of original sort of bass, backing tracks that people can play along to. Yeah. And they'll be in in the style of a certain bass player or in a certain genre, and they'll have like a sort of like a straightforward section, and then one or two sort of flair bits which kind of make it a little bit trickier and stuff like that. Cool. And yeah.
When did you launch the Patreon?
Last month. So it's only in its sort of early stages, but I'm happy to kind of just grow bit by bit with that. Yeah. But I've already got a few sort of like quite loyal followers who are kind of like, asking me questions and kind of like making requests and like really sort of like buzzing off that. And yeah, I think we're both sides of the transaction. We're both like having something really sort of meaningful come out of it. So it's cool. Yeah, it's really fun.
It's a real shame for you, especially this whole time in terms of gigs, because you were playing, your career was climbing, big time.
Yeah,
you were playing big places.
I was. It was just like, a nice sort of solid sort of touring musician sort of career was kind of, since I'd say about 2017, I've kind of done more of that thing. And I was in the middle of a tour this time last year when things all stopped. And those tour dates have been postponed to next March. So, those remaining ones. And that was with Gabrielle Aplin. And I've also done bits with Tom Walker and a few other people. And luckily I do still get to do the odd recording session. So that side of things hasn't really let up so much. But I do miss touring.
Yeah, man. And we were, the thing I dig about you is that, like, you were playing these massive gigs, and then you'd come play my gig, and with just the same level of rock and rollness.
Oh well, yeah. And I'm definitely like, every gig from here on, I'm never going to take it for granted, But
yeah. Do you know Will Gillett? You know Will Gillett?
He's a mutual friend of yours and Adam's,
isn't
he?
Yeah, he said to me the other day, he can't wait until we can just go back to complaining about gigs again.
Yeah. Complaining about the food at gigs, especially. Exactly. I think, that's the big thing, Like, I can't wait to just be in a bar where no one's really listening, or at a wedding where no one's really listening, especially not to the bass. No one ever really knows what the bass is doing, Like, I'd say 90% of people, they're like, there's a guy with a big guitar there. I wonder what he's doing, Like, and then they notice if it's not quite right, I think, or if it's not there, but they can't put their finger on it.
I know.
But
it's like, why does he have too few strings on his guitar?
Yeah. In fact, like at a wedding a few years ago, someone asked me, like, you're playing a bass there, aren't you? And it was this bass, and I was like, yeah. It's like, why has it got 5 strings? And I was like, he's getting really philosophical with me. And I was like, okay. 5-string basses have been around since the 80s, I think. But it's just like, and I couldn't think of a simple answer. It was really funny.
Just say it's a mandolin. It's a foreign mandolin, but why do you play the bass and not this?
Short answer, my older brother didn't let me. He already played guitar, and I was like, okay, I'll play the bass then. And at the time that I started playing it, I think I first heard Sunshine of Your Love, the Cream song. Because my dad's like a big Cream fan, and I was like, okay, I'll learn that. And there was a few other things like Hey Joe and stuff like that, but I couldn't be bothered learning the guitar. I was just like, single notes, I can get on with that. I'd played piano before that and stuff like that. And then the Red Hot Chili Peppers happened. And in my life, obviously they've been around for years, but I was like, okay, need to learn all of these bass lines now. And that kind of just, that's my bass journey in sort of, in blurb form.
Yeah. Do you know that I don't know if you do know, you probably don't know, but I was a bass player before I was a guitarist.
I didn't know that.
For quite a long time. So I was a cellist at school, and then I got a bass and joined the school jazz band. It was school jazz band was how I learned bass. So it was immediately trying to play these walking bass lines and stuff like that. And that was at 12, and it was only at about 15 that I got my first playable electric guitar. I was, and I remember then some people being like, but you're a bass player. What's this guitar thing? And now my friends rarely know as a guitarist. So the bass was my first journey into it. But it's a dark art because it took me a while. Like the guys at the wedding that listened to you play, it takes a while to realize what does it do. You know what I mean?
What's the function of bass? Yeah.
At first I thought it maybe just plays makes it fatter. Plays the low, but actually it can do a lot. Yeah.
But,
But I just want to ask you this quickly. So this is my bass. It was too much sustain the other day, and I was trying to record something. So I cut the scouring pad off of a full sponge and stuck it there. Is that normal? Would you do that?
That's like the Motown sort of technique for dampening bass strings, and it gets that sort of like thuddy. You get all the thud, you get all the attack of the note without the sustain. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah. So I think I might have overdone it. It was highly effective.
Yeah. So I've always used like a similar sort of a much thinner bit and kind of adjusted it. So like on the higher strings, I kind of move it more towards the bridge, just so it's not dampening more of like the string towards the neck and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And then, with the bass thing, so was it the Red Hot Chili Peppers that was your thing? That you like Flea? And...
It kind of, it really sort of started the love affair with the bass, and kind of that's what really got me sort of into it long term. Yeah. Because I had played other instruments. I was playing piano at that point. I think I was playing cornet, like the small version of a trumpet. But like then I got braces around that time as well. That just really screwed things up. But yeah, bass, I was just like, I can do this. I can be in a band. Oh yeah, being in a band's cool. And then our mutual friend Adam, that's where I met him. And, the rest is history. Yeah. Cool, studied it at university, a music college, and since then just been making a living essentially playing bass. Like I said, like we've mentioned, like playing weddings and stuff like that. That's been a big sort of like thing, but teaching as well,
and the big tours that you're doing,
and tours, RIP tours, yeah.
I mean, what were you playing arenas at?
No. Occasionally, I would play an arena, like with Tom Walker. I'm the depth bass player for Tom Walker, so Sam Oddaway, who I think you know as well. Yeah. He's the number one. He's the number one chair for that. That's an old school term, isn't it? Number one chair. That's chair. A very theatre term, isn't it? But
Who's got the chair?
Occasionally, Tom would do like something like the Capitol Summertime Ball, or like a big sort of like arena where you play like 2 songs, 3 songs, and either you do actually play live, or it's all mimed and the vocals the only thing that's live. So I've done a few of those with Tom, and they've been fun. Big-ish stages at festivals, but for the most part, it's like those sort of medium level venues, which I really enjoy more than like really big venues. Yeah.
I've never, totally honest, I've never played a massive venue, but just as an attendee,
exactly. Well,
I've enjoyed the smaller ones.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking as well. I'm knowing, like, if I was in the audience, I'd be like, I can't really hear this. Yeah.
So if we were to go onto your Patreon, could you give us a preview of what we might see?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So basically, the long and the short, we've already covered essentially that you were touring, but as all of us, we've had to adapt. And this Patreon Learn Bass with Huw is kicking off.
You could say it's kicking off. You could say it's like, it's in its infancy, but it's there. Yeah.
Okay, let's hear something. What do you got?
Okay,
so you made these tracks.
Yeah, I've made a backing track without the bass in, and done like a video where I play it and then talk through it a little bit. But yeah, here's a live demonstration of one of them. Okay. Hopefully I'll get it right. Oh, that was messy as hell. I've got my hands have got cold already.
That had like a chic vibe. Was it a Bernard Edwards feel?
Yeah. So I've called that one Disco Pony, okay. Which is actually a phrase that when I was back at college, I went to Leeds College of Music, and in my final year there, Paul Turner, who's the current Jamiroquai bass player, came and did a sort of like a workshop, and talked about that style of playing where you're going ding digga ding digga ding, and you'd play in the octaves, and on the high notes, well, on the low notes you're doing eighth notes, high notes you're doing sixteenths, and he called it Disco Pony. But yeah, it's something that's come up in a lot of sort of like Jamiroquai tunes. But yeah, I think Bernard Edwards is probably the originator of that. There's a tune by Chic called Dance Dance Dance, where it's like that's like the sort of main bass line there. And yeah, it's really fun. Yeah.
Disco, baby. See, so my bass journey, when I started playing when I started playing my own stuff, as in music that wasn't in the school jazz band, my bass journey is basically the opposite of that. Where so when when the penny dropped for me with bass was when the bass basically did nothing. So it was kind of like this sort of, can you hear that? Yeah. I've just got a little octave pedal on my guitar, guys. This is not a bass.
Yeah. This is when guitarists start to sort of like stay out of their lane.
Yeah. This sort of thing. So this was when I got bass.
Right.
When
like drones.
When there's one thing and then the chords change on top of it.
Yeah.
Because then I was like, that's so epic that the bass player can force everyone to not change chords. So like this sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Nice.
That's when I got bass. Even though it's not doing anything, it was like the potency was the idea that it decides when we're moving. So this is going, and like you want to play this chord, but if it's over this, it's not happening. You can't make it happen.
It's a big no-no. Yeah.
Which is epic, because when the bass player gets a note wrong, everyone else sounds wrong.
Yes. Yeah. We're very influential like that. Yeah.
Just 1 second. Amy says, "Turn up guitar."
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
Very subtly coming in there and saying, "Turn up guitar." So hang on. Feel free.
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
So yeah. So I got into Pink Floyd basically, which is a very much a guitar and keyboard. Guitars and keyboards carry the kind of fun bits of it, but the drums and the bass do what I just did now, where it's like this. It's the architectural approach to drums and bass. They just sit there and do not budge. And then when the chord finally changes, you're stuck there for like 15 minutes. And then finally it's like, and it's huge,
Yeah. It's all about that tension and release, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's basically when I got it. And but yeah, man, how's this pedal?
It's nice. Yeah, which one is it?
Electro Harmonix Pitchfork.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, the Electro Harmonix pedals are fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
Has it gone wrong in any sort of way for you? Because that's every single one of their pedals I've had. They've just had some weird glitch in them
it sounds like a weird glitch.
Yeah.
I mean, just check how epic
nice.
This is.
You've got 3 octaves going on there.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah.
Lovely.
Put some fuzz on that and some horrendous delay as well. That's going to be fun
it's
time.
Also got like a. So like a Radioheady kind of feel, you know.
Nice.
But alas, I digress. Let me just see who's here.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we got some people. Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. So who you were playing with Ward Thomas, is that correct?
So yeah, I have I've been touring with Ward Thomas, and the last sort of gig I did, the only live stream gig I've done since gigs stopped was with them as well. Yeah.
I saw you. So Ward Thomas, everybody I saw loads of posters on the underground. They were very much marketed there for a long time, and it's like a kind of pop country thing.
Yeah. They when they first started out, it was definitely more country, but like they've kind of like over the last few albums, kind of gone more towards the sort of pop side of things, but with country instrumentation. It's really fun. Yeah.
Cool
but when I was touring with them, it wasn't all on like there weren't any banjos or anything like that going on.
You did ask electric for them, of course, though.
Yeah. I was playing electric, but also synth bass as well.
Okay.
That yellow monster over there. And then the live stream we did, it was kind of like stripped back even more. So we didn't have a drummer. I was playing a kick drum and playing bass, and we had like a bit of percussion on a backing track. And one song I played ukulele as well, but I'm not going to bring that out tonight. But yeah.
That's the number one question guitarists have got asked in the last 5 years by parents.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a guitarist. Do you teach ukulele?
Yeah. And I have taught ukulele for my sins, and it is fun, it's a good introduction to stringed instruments, I've got one student who's 6-7 years old, and I've been teaching him nearly a year now, and he's really taken off, and he'll get into guitar, and I think he wants to play bass. Actually, his dad's a bass player, so yeah.
Epic.
It's and it can be a really nice instrument as well. Going back to the library music stuff, I used a bit of ukulele, double tracked it, hard panned it left and right for a bit of music that I composed with Elliot that was all about tension and stuff like that, and I was just doing some really intense strumming on it, and it sounds great. It just fulfills a sort of textural purpose, and it's not just that plinky plonky.
It's hard to sound bad on it as well. It's
yeah. That's the thing. It's
gentle sounding.
It's an all or nothing sort of instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to hit us with that rhythm stick?
Yeah.
And play us. What do you have in store?
So do another one of these backing tracks.
Yeah. So these are all your Patreon classics. The Learn Bass with Huw.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this one is a secular sort of interpretation of gospel music.
Okay.
The sort of gospel praise break, shout music kind of thing. All the fast double time stuff, which I'm sure I'm going to mess up now because I'm not used to playing in front of people. Normally I can just play on my own.
It's my show. No one's watching. No. Love you all.
I'm going to mute my
watching.
microphone as well in case I swear when I mess up. Yeah, not bad. I'd say 8 out of 10. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Jackson 5 there.
The funny thing is, like in a couple of takes, I can get the bass part down. It's when I'm tracking those guitar parts for the backing tracks, I'm like, okay, comp that bit with that bit there. Yeah.
So for those listening, comping means basically doing loads of takes and being like, that bit was okay.
Exactly.
That bit was
creating
okay.
a mesh of takes. Yeah.
As they call it, the greatest take that never happened.
Exactly. Yeah. And I find a lot of my sort of like, you can see I've got a guitar there. I record guitar. I've never gigged guitar because I'm just like, no, just don't have it in me.
I think it's the opposite. Like I've got a guitar rack here. It's all guitars and one bass, and you've got all basses on one guitar.
I've got two guitars actually. I've got a nylon string over there, but yeah.
Yeah.
A fairly new addition, yeah.
Well, this is the thing for those who wonder how music is recorded now. So when you record on software, you can there's no expense. It's not like tape, which is expensive. You can just keep recording take after take, and then it gives you a drop. You can have like a drop down. It's unreal, and then you can highlight that one note from take 15 into that one note from take 1. It's very much a cheating. It's made it very easy. But ultimately, I think that if it's like quite a important part, or like a part that carries the melody or something like that, you can usually tell, like having the less edits, the better for me.
Yeah, definitely, especially when it comes to something melodic like a solo.
Or like vocal,
an engineer I work with, he said, like, oh yeah, you don't want to do too much on that solo, otherwise you end up with what he called Pro Tools jazz, because Pro Tools is like one of the big sort of like audio workstations, and like
I've like done things before where I've done like multiple takes, and it's like where is it like or whatever, take 1 and then take 15, something unrelated, to like a million takes, and then done hard cuts between them, so that like it's like note, that would have been unplayable. But it's the age of deception. But it's I mean I've kind of rejected as much of that as possible in recent times and just gone as organic as possible.
That's sensible. I think everyone always kind of like, you go down the route of like, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And then you realize actually simplicity is the best thing. Yeah. Like, and that's what everyone's kind of aiming for in terms of like, in terms of acquiring all like this nice gear for recording studios. So like nice microphones, nice sort of like outboard gear, like it's just so you can just plug it in and it sounds good as well, I just
find like with me, like when I got the ability to record at home, like you just go off the rails. You're just like, I can have 100 guitar parts and then you end up basically at like 10 years down the line, you go, actually I was right before I got all this stuff, and you go back there, but you kind of have to go through the gauntlet.
It's all part of the process,
Yeah, man. So do you have any tours that are opening up? Like, do you have stuff that's been deferred or
Yeah, so
postponed?
So I was on tour with Gabriel Aplin this time last year. Played my last gig like on the 12th of March last year, and we had like 5 dates left on the tour. And initially they were postponed to September of last year, and then obviously that didn't happen. And then they were postponed to now, and then like they just before March even got close, they were like, actually, let's just wait till things get sensible again. So March 2022 are when the rest of those dates are gonna happen eventually. Yeah.
For the first time, I've kind of started to buy the idea that things might happen, because there was that period last summer where a few offers would come in. I'd be like, we'll see.
Yeah.
Sure.
I didn't even have any serious gig sort of opportunities come in, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it didn't allow me to get my hopes up.
I just I've made so many changes to my life and the stuff that I'm working on. I'm actually doing more of the stuff I love to do. So the goal is to, writing and recording my own music, being a singer-songwriter, that is actually my core, and being a guitarist, and So I just want to, when things do open, I want to try and retain. I think a lot of people are in this position, try and retain the things that we've claimed back.
Yeah.
And you know, but I just think I'll think more lightly about gigs as well. Just kind of have fun. Yeah, just check this out, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
What's
going on there?
Super glued sandpaper to my plectrum.
So it doesn't fall off. So you don't drop it.
Because I've been working on changing my technique because I was getting a sore index finger when I was playing like a lot of gigs. When I was playing like long sets. Right. So I was like, let's eliminate the fact that I might be dropping the plectrum and it might be too slippery. Let's take one factor out. So I've super glued sandpaper. It's quite a rough ride to get used to.
Yeah, man, that's hardcore. Yeah,
you should give it a go, man. It's insane, but I think that's the extent of my DIY capabilities. But I've cut it because I put too much on it first. It went too far down, and I was sanding my strings.
Oh man! It's like, were they just like snapping?
I just looked down, and it's like, I don't know if these are coated strings, but it's just like frayed.
Oh yeah. That'll be the coating. Yeah.
I just saw fraying, which hadn't been there moments before. But yeah, man. And are you doing any of your own sort of originals project?
Yeah. So my original project, in which I am a co-writer, is called Goodfoot. And that's with the singer Danny Sharples. We've been writing together for 5 or so years. We've released so far just a couple of EPs, but we are working on an album, and that's kind of been a sort of labour of love over the last sort of getting on for 18 months now. But yeah, we've got a lot of material written, and just trying to find time to kind of get it, all together and send it off to our drummer so he can record it at home and stuff like that. But everyone's got crazy things going on, like where they either, like I know that he hasn't had much time to work on it. He's got a kid now as well, that's but yes, short story is we're working on an album, and yeah, hopefully that will get done at some point this year.
Yeah, man. Just there was and I've said it on the show before, but I don't know about in other genres, but sort of the indie rock genre, singer-songwriter, DIY artists, like 2020, like the amount of full albums that came out by unsigned people is just insane. And a lot of them are really good. So I think there was this, oh, well, we can't tour, let's write and record music thing. So it might be that everyone goes on tour and just promotes those albums for the next few years. But I don't know. There's almost like a bit of anxiety about like, oh, I have to leave the house now. I think we've all become a bit soft. But
I don't know what I'm going to be like when just general normal social interactions come back. I was pretty awkward in the first place. Yeah.
I love that. Huw and I basically like when we play gigs, we completely play over each other while we're talking. Yeah, it's like listening. Yeah, listening.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I'm totally listening to what you're saying. Yeah.
It's classic, man. But
I miss that. I miss just that giddy feeling of just like, huh? What was that? Okay, yeah.
Honestly, Amy, like, if she comes to the room and wants to talk to me, like, she wants me to, like, essentially put the guitar down.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
What do you want for some? Yeah. We'll go to the shop just after my recording session, and then I think I got lettuce yesterday, but
Oh man.
It's terrible.
Love it.
When you realize you are the stereotype, it's like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, but stereotypes exist for a reason, don't they? Everyone, you put a guitar in someone's hands, and if they're vaguely competent, they're just going to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to, everyone gets that kind of sort of, you get into a little loop where you're like, I've got to play this. It's like musical Tourette's, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and you're just like, yeah. Oh man, yeah. I'm just gonna practice, like this for a little bit.
The worst is when it's like absolutely like devoid of any musical qualities. Like,
yeah, you're not even.
Yeah. Yeah, listening.
You're not even vocalizing anything. It's just pure autopilot. Yeah.
Guitarists are the worst. But I think that's why we get on. Is like you've got the spirit of a guitarist, don't you?
Oh, do I?
It's like play more notes.
I don't know. I think there is. I mean, both the examples of my playing, obviously, short, do not live up to that sort of like mantra of less is more. But I do like all the times where it's just all about like the silence and like the gaps between the notes and stuff like that.
You like those times as long as you aren't playing, as long as that's someone else's gig.
No, I mean, it's whatever's right for the song. And obviously, those little educational things that I've shown you, they're kind of like to
studies
kind of increase your vocabulary and technique and stuff like that.
Etudes.
I know you weren't coming hard for me on that stuff, but like I am musical when
he's
when
a
I
musical
need to be,
guy, don't worry.
Yeah.
100%, man, 100%. Do you want to play us one more and then we'll call it a wrap?
I could play one more, yeah.
What do you have?
This one's an older one, so hopefully it's I've not completely forgotten it.
And everybody, Huw's band Goodfoot, I'll put a link post the show. I forgot to put a link. I've put a link to his website, his Instagram. If you check on Instagram, Huw's got loads of great videos there. Got the Patreon, Huw Foster, which is the kind of focus of what he's showing us tonight.
Yeah.
The Emerald Prince himself.
Just so people know what that means. Why are you calling me the Emerald Prince? No one's called me that in about 2 years.
When Huw was gigging with me, I used to wear a lot of large jewelry pieces. But then to make Huw feel more included, I got him a non-subtle green pendant, which is enormous. And henceforth he's been known as the Emerald Prince. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
But man, your setup looks epic there. So I need to up my game here with your lighting and it looks great, man.
And then I can always go, do all of that stuff. Do all of that, it's all over engineering my my Zoom lessons with 11-year-old guitar players. Yeah.
Keeps you interested.
But anyway, I'll play one more of these things.
Hit us.
All right.
Yeah, man. Do you know what that reminds me of is it Breezing? I think it's Breezing. George Benson, that video where he's got his guitar and he's got roller skates along the sea promenade and he's doing his roller skating with a guitar.
Is that the one?
I think so.
The one that goes like that.
And it's super smooth, and he does like this guitar, like he does like a 360 on the rollerblades while he's got his guitar, and he's like very narrow, smooth moustache.
I've got 2 George Benson related recommendations actually. If we're up for this. Number one is his live from Montreux set from the mid '80s.
I'll check it out.
Which is incredible. It's like the most over the top thing. Like you'll see, like pure '80s like jazz funk, basically. That's it, isn't it? Yeah. But like there's a percussionist who's absolutely having the best time of their life. And there's another video of that tune of Breezing where there's another live session where the bass player is playing the tambourine with his foot. And it's just great. He's kind of like doing this sort of like shaking, like that kind of thing. And it's killer. Absolutely
like
killer.
With his foot.
Yeah, with his foot. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's that tune.
I've seen him live.
Yeah.
I saw him live in Cape Town. He played the International Jazz Festival and I went there. And he wanted to do something different. He played 2 nights in a row, and the first night it was a tribute to Duke Ellington. So he would sing these
Duke like jazz,
and he would sing these. But I felt it was a bit awkward in a sense because his name is so big for his stuff. He's a titan of what he does. So like people weren't there for the Duke Ellington tribute. No. So like every now and like this, the mood would sag, and then he'd play like one of the Benson classics, and they were like, "Just give it the night." Or whatever. It's like, whoop.
I think I've heard exactly the same thing from someone else, or it might have been you just telling me about this years ago. And I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah, but yeah, like he'll play like some proper jazz and he'll kill it, but like the mainstream crowd will just be like, "This isn't why we're here."
Yeah,
and then like bring out like the big hitters, and everyone will be like, "Woo!"
He's so good though, man. George Benson. Yeah. George Benson's epic. But
he's had it, like he's had the best of both worlds.
But I'm just checking somebody says, happy for another couple of hours of this. Uh-oh. Right. Just give me the night. Comments, jamming. And another one, bow chicka wow wow.
Okay, cool.
These are the comments. So, yeah, man.
That's probably a little comment on my sort of backing tracks and just how they're,
But
very 70s disco.
But the 70s, was just such a beautiful era for music. But
I think recorded music kind of,
But even the sonics of it, like I think most people, there's great stuff for its. Even that 80s stuff is great for what it is, that airy, reverby thing. But there's something about the 70s sound that seems timeless somehow. It's like the sweet spot between proficiency and naturalism,
Yeah, I remember hearing it explained like there's, in the 70s they got like the low end right, and then in the 80s they got the high end right. Yeah. Obviously, they lost all the low end.
It's like where's the bass?
Fully digital.
Everything is just.
But yeah, it's all that stuff. Yeah, and that 70s drum sound. I'm addicted to that dead drum sound. I have been irritating Amy constantly without meaning to, because I've been singing. Do you know "Shine on You, Crazy Diamond" by Pink Floyd? Yeah.
I've been singing like. I love Nick Mason's drumming. Some people are like, "Oh, it's too boring," but it's like if you put
it serves the purpose. If
you put a busy bass player and a busy drummer in that band, it would completely ruin things. But it's that 70s. And it's like so much flab. It's the right amount of punch and then the fills just go.
Yeah.
So I've been singing the drum pattern of "Shine on You, Crazy Diamond" for like 4 or 5 days.
Amazing.
And Amy's just like, and then like I didn't have my key the other day, and I was at the door, so I had to knock to get in, and I was like,
incredible.
It's all about the 70s, man.
Oh man, yeah.
But it's come back. the 70s sound is huge now. Like even
it has been for a few years.
Yeah, like with things like the staves and stuff, it's obviously obvious. It's obvious. It's like pastiche. But even in a modernized sense, like what's it like? Even like Harry Styles or some of these like super pop things. There's a lot of 70s in there.
I saw some pictures from the Grammys, which was last week, wasn't it? And Harry Styles is like, his outfit is pure 70s as well. So like the fashion, at least for him, he's kind of fully deep diving like that 70s kind of like aesthetic. Yeah.
It's kind of a relief for me because I've been trying to push 70s influences for a while, and it's like the time is now.
I feel like it's like sonically and musically there was so much good stuff in the 70s. Obviously there was loads of rubbish as well, but that's true of any sort of like era. But that, I think that's why people keep coming back to it, and people keep coming back to those kinds of sounds and stuff. And it's always going to have a timeless sound to it, whereas 80s, that's going to sound dated. It's going to sound 80s.
Somebody in the comments, Andrew Wilson, what up, Wilson? He says that 80s top end ... Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Like that Yes song that we were always going on about, produced by Trevor Horn, with all like the bells and whistles going on. Like, yeah, that's the sound of cocaine. The one song that I always think is just like, oh man, there was so much of it going around in the recording studio. It's that Duran Duran.
Hungry like a wolf.
It's the Bond theme they did.
I don't know if I know.
View to a Kill.
Okay, yeah.
And like there is so much nonsense going on in that song. Like every few seconds there's just a stupid little stab or something. And like View to a Kill. I'm like, yeah, and then like there's a little sort of stupid bass fill because, you know, like they've all got to have their moment. But it's just everyone's jostling for space, and there's loads of stupid little production moments.
It just got too opulent.
Yeah.
It's just terrible. Have you seen that movie Buckaroo Banzai or Bonsai? Buckaroo Banzai and the Eighth Dimension.
No.
It's amazing. It's like 80s sci-fi. Jeff Goldblum is in it as like a guy who wears a cowboy hat the whole time.
Okay.
And basically the long story short is brain surgeon, nuclear physicist, and rock star Buckaroo Banzai works out how he has to deal with these aliens that have come from the eighth dimension. So it's interdimensional, but he's also in a rock band with all of his scientists. And it's the most 80s thing ever.
Okay. And there's 4 other dimensions that haven't been accounted for as well. So
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but you got to check it out, man. It's a classic.
I will.
It's like if Purple Rain was more crazy.
Oh man, I'm a huge Prince fan, but I can't bring myself to watch any of his films because I just know they're terrible. And like, it's kind of funny because he's so charismatic, and like, but like the plot is just like nothing, and the acting is terrible, and the sets are like, I know there's bits where like the sets are wobbling and stuff like that, you know, like in a soap opera. But then there's various bits where like like in his films, there's like performances which are great, and you know that's why. You know, they're still classics, you know.
But I think what's happened is that you've got the 60s, which is exciting because look at all the stuff that's about to happen, all this new technology. Then that technology gets mastered in the 70s. And so some of the seeds that were planted in the 60s grow. And then in the 70s, it's like now we look back at it and it's like garish. But it's nostalgically, it's awful to the degree that it's cute.
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah. Like complete side note, but yeah, when my wife and I got married a couple of years ago, I did a DJ set for it, like pre-mixed it. And we had a silent disco, so everyone was wearing headphones, and like that was like really fun. But like my mum commented, just like, "There's so much '80s music in here," and I was like, "Yeah, because it's the most fun."
It's terrible. I want to see if. Oh, sorry, carry on. I want to see if I can find something for you.
Yeah. Oh, now you've told me to carry on. I don't know what to say. So,
I've got it.
I'm the classic introvert who's just like, yeah. What is this you got for me anyway?
This is how we can wrap up the show. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I recently acquired this. There is nothing. Oh my goodness, it's got stains on it. But I hold in my hand the most 80s thing that exists.
Okay.
Okay. This is the single.
Can I guess at what it is, or is that gonna?
Okay, you can guess.
Okay.
I can give you hints if you need.
Yeah. Is it electrical in any way?
It is electrical.
Okay. Is it is it a musical instrument of some sort? But it's very neat. It's very sort of like what's the word? It's very I can't think of the right word anymore.
Niche,
but like gimmicky. That's the word. Yeah.
They didn't know it at the time, but it is. There is not a more gimmicky item in the world.
Is it like a keytar that's also like got Go Faster stripes on it or something like that?
Almost. Okay, are you ready?
Oh, okay, yeah. Just
I believe this is 1981. Okay, everybody, this is okay. Equipped with carry case, because you never know when you might need this. You never know. Okay, check this out. Okay.
Ooh.
The Casio VL1. Okay.
That's amazing.
So, if you see just, I don't know if you can see, but on the keys, some of the keys have like different words under them.
Yeah.
And you can click those words. The words are like, they're backing to like waltz, beat, 4-beat swing. So they're kind of rhythms that you can play, drum machine in here. But they also have, are you ready for it? Plus, minus, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, divide, times, minus, plus, and equals. So this was marketed in 1981 as a portable synthesizer and calculator.
That's incredible. I never knew I needed one of those. But apparently I do.
This is the 80s.
Yeah.
It's just like, and like the adverts would have been like kids doing their sums and then do-do-do-do-do.
It's mad some of the stuff that was coming out that was like advertised at the home user. Like,
like who is the user? And I saw a demo of this on YouTube and it's like, they're playing through all the patches and suddenly it went silent. I'm like, what patch are they playing through now? And then I looked close and the guy's doing a sum.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I've recently acquired some 80s synths, but this is, the VL Tone by Casio.
Brilliant.
It's, I mean, when they basically make something so kitsch that it becomes timeless, as in like a historical monument of what man can do.
Yeah.
But if left to his own devices.
Just because, going back to Jeff Goldblum, there's that quote from Jurassic Park, and like, you scientists thought, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Oh, I can't remember.
It was something like you were so preoccupied with whether or not you could that you didn't stop to think if you should. That's the 80s.
Finds a way, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm all about the Goldblum. But anyway, Buckaroo Banzai and the Eighth Dimension.
Even his music. Even his music.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, this is
is there a layer of irony I'm not getting from what I've heard of it?
This is being recorded right now, and I love Jeff Goldblum. Jeff, if you ever see this, I want to play with you. The thing is, Jeff Goldblum's music cannot be contained into audio.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
It needs the visual component.
Yes.
Because when you hear ding ding ba-ding gigging or whatever, that's one thing. But if you see, the Goldblum,
it's a performance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. No, that's a good comeback to my
he's
little catty comment.
He's dripping with Goldblumness.
Yeah.
No.
But
I'm a big fan.
Doesn't do it. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Goldblum. He's overflowing with himself.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Which I'm all about. But man, so you got a Telecaster there. What is it? When you had that a long time? The Prince guitar.
Yeah. I bought this on holiday in. I bought this on holiday in Brighton. There's the big GAC store there, and I hate saying GAC because it's a
guitar and keyboard store.
Yeah, but also it's slang for cocaine. But yeah, guitar, amp, keyboard. Yeah, and I was like, I need a decent guitar. I had like I think we were talking about this before we went live. I've got like a Westfield Telecaster copy, which was found in a bin, by the way. but the electronics were rubbish, and they kept like I kept getting it like repaired, and it was like 3 times the value of the guitar. So yeah, just a classic Squier, fairly decent one. Yeah, it's cool. Does the job.
Yeah, man. I try to explain. Do you know what that is? I think. I don't know. They've invented a lot, but that might be America's greatest invention. The Fender Telecast. For me,
Telecaster.
That guitar is the wheel,
right,
of electric guitar.
Yeah,
it's not a refined wheel, but it is the wheel.
Yeah,
and it can't go wrong. This is a wheel with some spokes and some stuff in it.
Right. It's got a little too much going on. Yeah,
but that is it is the original.
Yeah. Same with the precision bass, the P bass.
Yeah, man.
You know, like it does the one thing pretty much. Well, yeah, even more so than the Telly. It does the one thing so well that, you know, you can't get close to it.
It's the tractor of a guitar.
Yeah.
But I'm addicted to Fender, so thank you USA and California for that. Honestly, it's the greatest thing ever. But anyway, so anything else that you wanted to?
I feel like that's a good sort of place to wrap up. Yeah, pretty much an hour. Yeah.
Everybody, make sure you get your Casio VL tone.
Yeah, there will be a test next week.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking of doing like a jam night, VL tones only, where you have to improvise and do mathematics. Like
yeah.
Sums in between.
Amazing.
Anyway, man.
There's a YouTuber called Adam Neely. Have you seen any of his videos?
Is he the music industry guy?
He's
that tells you to go after your dreams, and he's like, "Come on, no."
No. He's never that clickbaity. He's kind of a really good sort of like music theorist. Can explain why a song sounds good, kind of thing. But he's also done some silly little experimental sort of videos, like one where he did a so-far gig, like the ones we would do together. And he was in the UK as well. I was like, oh, because he's American. I was like, oh, interesting. He's like in the UK doing one of these, and he did it on like a similar sort of like toy sort of. It was like a keyboard that could do like he was playing like bass lines on it with like little drum tracks, and occasionally it would freak out during the gig, or it had a little sort of like sampler in it as well. And like, yeah, it's like just a fun video. I'll send it to you afterwards.
Anyway. I've got quite a few of these sort of 80 keyboard. I've got some that have like a thing that says ROM on it. It's like a memory card of like beats. It's like click,
amazing.
Take on me. But anyway, that's sort of soft 80s drum beat. But anyway, Huw, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in. My album, Songs with New Beginnings, should be out tentatively the 21st of May. It's going to be everywhere, but I'm just saying May. So I will let you know by next show if it's the one. If it's man, I can't do the show with a guitar in my hand. It's like oh my goodness. It's what it is, the curse of being a guitarist. Just want to noodle.
Yeah.
But do you know what? How's this for I thought, let's bring summer. I was like in my winter clothes and I felt dreary. Right. So I'm like,
yeah.
Last time I saw you would have been summer.
Yeah, I mean, we maybe should have shared notes before this started, because I'm looking very conservatively dressed right now. And this has got food stains on it as well. But, you know, luckily my webcam isn't quite that sharp. Yeah. I am wearing jeans, though. I'm not one of those people who's just kind of like, since lockdown started last year, you know, like haven't worn jeans for like 6 months and then like all of a sudden none of them fit.
I had that experience.
Right.
I put these, you know, so like I put trousers on tonight. I'm like, it's a bit better than last time.
It's cozy, yeah.
Because a couple of times ago, it was like, if I had a gig and I just had to quickly put on my gig clothes, there might be a problem.
Right, yeah. But, you need a warm-up period. Like
exactly.
10 minutes to kind of like.
Everyone's going to need like a 3-month grace period.
Yeah,
to get the beach bod back.
Yeah. I'm thanking Yoga with Adrian, for like keeping
Yoga with Adrian, she's epic. She's amazing.
She's great.
Where's she based? In Texas? Or is she from Texas?
Yeah, Austin, Texas. Yeah. And like, there's like, I've been using her sort of like, she's got a couple of wind down sort of like routines that like I can almost like talk along with them now. I've done them so many times now.
Yeah.
And like even the bits where she like messes it up and then corrects herself and has a little giggle or whatever. And like, yeah, it's really funny.
For those of you who don't know, Yoga with Adrian her name is Adrian.
I'm sure most people know her by now. She's huge. She's like the yoga person. Yeah.
Yeah. She's just so nice and so friendly. She just puts you in such a good mood.
She's got a great dog as well.
Yeah. But,
Benji?
Cool.
All right, should we actually wrap it up now? Sorry, I keep kind of like getting us sidetracked.
I know, don't worry about it. It's just, I just feel noodly and distracted when I have a guitar with me.
Yeah.
Because you never know when that chord's going to hit and just suddenly I got to be, anyway. But cool, well, we'll leave it there. And everybody, this is Huw Foster. Huw is spelled Huw. And then Foster, Foster, huwfoster.co.uk, Huw Foster on Instagram, patreon.com/Huw Foster. Correct? Yes.
Yep. Spot on.
Yeah, so check out his bass videos on Instagram as well. He's always ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum. Bass impression.
What they want.
Bass impression. Boom, 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 boom. Anyway,
you should just do videos like that on Instagram. That'd be great.
Hey guys, I've just been working on this new bass line. You can't even hear the notes.
I would unironically love that.
Yep. Yeah. I think that the internet is now at the stage where people don't know if things are ironic or not anymore.
Right, yeah. We've way past that.
Anyway, everybody, this is Huw. Good night. buymeacoffee.com/Chris Willow if you want to keep this show on the road. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Huw.
Thanks,
I love your setup, man. I'm going to ask you about your lights and your cameras and your actions. And
yeah.
Cool. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Huw's still on.